What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Life Grooming Podcast. It's your man J.Kyle here once again, and I want to welcome you. Today we are talking about the style. When I started cutting hair and teaching hair at the same time, there's one thing I really did not know how to do. I didn't know how to style hair. If it was a brush cut, fade, sure, throw a little grease on it, brush it down, send you out your way. That's cool, no problem. But if it was anything longer than that, I didn't know what to do with it. I could not. I couldn't style. I don't care if it was a pompadour. I don't care if it was a crop top. All the way down to using curling irons, braiding, whatever it was. I didn't. It just wasn't in my repertoire at the time. Thank God, though. Years later, here I am. I actually taught a class today to my students that involved some braiding, some coloring, all those type of things. So getting to a point of being able to do more. Style is so important because once the haircut is over, now you got to wear that thing. And, in the barber shop, nowadays, there's way more styling that's in place now than there was when I first started 18 years ago. Like, I never had a blow dryer. Never had a blow dryer when I first started cutting hair. Like, my first 18 years of barbering, I never used a blow dryer. I had no need for it. But nowadays, you better have a blow dryer. Most of the styles that men are wearing nowadays require some type of blow dry work, and it's interesting the nature of where men's grooming has gone, especially in the last, I would say, 5 years. It's done a lot, and so styling is important, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The style. The beautiful thing about styling your hair really is it's another expression of who you are. After you've gone through the transformative process of cutting hair, getting rid of old things, shaping it to be where you're trying to go now, now comes the embellishment. Now comes the ownership of it. So, I get you in a chair. We get through all the consultation. We get through washing your hair. We get through draping you and caping you up. We get through the actual cutting. We get through the shaving. We get through the beard grooming. Now, how do we make this thing stand out? And of course, a style is only as good as the cut, because if you have a horrible haircut, you're going to spend so much time and effort with styling products and time trying to make it, look good, versus spend more time on the cut. Then you don't have to use as much product to get a good style. How that relates to us grooming our life is this. Your style is your expression, which means that when you're sitting in a chair, you don't ask the person across the barbershop, hey, how should I style my hair? The only person you might ask is the professional, the barber, the stylist. And if they're a really, really, really good barber, stylist, they're going to ask you, how would you like to wear it? What style do you want it to look like? And I'll help you get there. Your style is all about you. And after you've gone through this work, you done been to therapy. You done took the time to forgive yourself. You done asked yourself the hard questions. You done endured dealing with the heat and being stretched to be uncomfortable. Now it's time for you to rock your style. And you got to own that. You got to give yourself permission to be new. When you think about it, sometimes we go through things so much, and even after we put in the work, right, to become better, we put in all the efforts necessary to go through this transformation. Sometimes there's still something in our head that doesn't all the way connect with your new reality. And so you may find yourself thinking about a new situation through an old parameter, or not giving yourself the room to enjoy it, because you can have this, what's known as a poverty mindset. And a poverty mindset says that even though you have something that's either new or something you didn't have before, you have to treat it as if you're never going to have it again. So you either hoard it or you don't enjoy it, because you haven't given yourself the permission and the room to be present with your new experience. Now, come on, y'all. Let's just keep this as basic as possible. You did the work. You've done a lot. You deserve to enjoy success. It's your success. And because of that, you got to be mindful of the people around you, man. Sometimes, man, some folks don't be wanting you to succeed. And they're not going to tell you that straight up. They're going to say stuff like, oh, you think you better than us now. You too good for this, or you used to be my homie. Now you act like you don't know me. Well, look, if you decide that you still want to be the same old way you used to be, I'm on a new page, man. I had to do some work. And I'm not going to be wasting my time, effort, and energy to keep myself thinking the same way and doing the same and speaking the same. What was the point of all the work I had to go through? What was the point of forgiving myself? What was the point of going through this transformation if I'm only going to look the same old way? Why? Why do that? Why waste money, effort, and time and energy to be exactly the same? That makes no sense. You got to own your style. Give yourself permission to be new. Give yourself permission to do a different style. Like, nobody in the world said that you got to keep wearing the same style. And sometimes people get stuck in this rut. They feel like, oh, I'm just going to keep it the same. It's what I do. Well, do something different. Give yourself the permission to switch it up. Give yourself the permission to have new adventures and have new experiences and bring new people in your life. Have you thought about that? How about give yourself the permission to say no? Nope, I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't want to. I don't have to. Give yourself the permission to be the new you. It's okay. I'm here to tell you. J.Kyle is here to tell you. Uncle J.Kyle is here to tell you. It's okay to be new. Even if that means you got to be new by yourself for a period of time. And I mean that, just for a period of time. Because when you switch things up, the first thing that's going to happen, especially when it's completely different, is you won't be recognized at first. You'll look different, and not everyone likes change. And sometimes the first person who doesn't like change is you. And the second people or persons who don't like change are those who are used to how you used to look. Sometimes because they benefited off of your old style. They benefited off of you looking bad. They benefited off of you not being successful. Maybe it fed their insecurities or fed their God complex. But now that you don't need them as much, now that you don't need them at all, now that you have strength in your own legs, now that you have your own fight, they're not as needed. And some people don't do well with that. And they'll try to manipulate you into thinking that, you trying to be bougie, or you trying to be better than, actually, I am trying to be better than. just better than me, better than who I was. It has nothing to do with you. That's a selfish perspective anyway. So regardless of if they recognize you or not, be willing to give yourself the permission and ownership to rock your new style, because after those people leave, new people are coming. New people who rock your style. New people who appreciate your style, even if they don't rock your style, but they compliment it. They go with it genuinely. Like, there are people, I know sometimes you might feel like, nah, ain't nobody else out there who can really understand me. No, they are. They really are. I promise you. I'm living it right now. I'm living it right now. God has blessed me with a group of people. Shout out to my family, all my folks at my places. They know who they are when I say family. But shout out to them, man. They are a group of individuals who, they're not all alike by any means. But man, the love is real. You know what I mean? And I don't have to pretend to be something that I am not. And with all the changes and all of the work that I've had to do to be who God called me to be now, it feels great to rock my style. Yeah, y'all are experiencing my style on these podcasts. Let me have it real quick. So who I used to be a person who was very big on presentation, and it had to be structured. It had to look this way. I was really big on making sure I looked good. And the problem with that was all my internals were jacked up. You know what I mean? I did my best to look the part on the outside. Not just how I dressed, but how I spoke and all those other things. But I was so insecure. I was prideful and insecure at the same time. You know you jacked up when you prideful and insecure at the same time. I mean, a mess, okay? A whole hot mess with a side of you need to go sit down somewhere. That is who I was. A lot of it. This podcast, the way you see me on this podcast, people who know me, who I am now, they will tell you this is literally what he is like when the podcast machine is not running. For like the people in my family, and I'm saying family on purpose, family, not family, or my church family. So my family, they will tell you the foolery that you hear on these podcasts, the craziness, the sincerity, the love relationship with God, the perspective. I'm not giving y'all no presentation. There's no stages here. This is just me, but this is my style. This is what has come out after my transformation, and I own it. That's when you hear me say stuff like, I'm level 1 crazy, level 1 certified crazy, but I own mine. That's my style. That's who God has created me to be. And I love it. I love it because I can actually experience life. I put so much time, effort, and energy trying to be something for someone else and for someone's else that, man, I was just dying in the process. And look, everyone has, they're on different journeys. So this isn't to come down on anyone who may be at a point where they're still struggling with that. Because trust me, I understand that. But when you go through the work and you do the work and you start to recognize who you are, own your style. Even if people aren't there, like I was owning who I was before I had my family. I was owning who I was before I had other people around me, because it was me and God. It was me and God was telling me who I was, and getting rid of the old parts of me. That podcast where I talked about shampooing, I had to go through that. There was some stuff that had to be purged out of me. Very legalistic in my views, very legalistic in how I approached life and salvation, and just brittle. It wasn't flexible, just wasn't. I mean, so all these podcasts that you hear me talking about, I literally had to walk through these things. And it really became fun. It really became fun when I began to own my style and give myself permission to be everything that God called me to be. I mean, heck, if God called me to be it, then who else's permission do I need? Nobody's. I already got it from God. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need to take any other approach. And just like when you're in a barber chair and the haircut is done, but the style even has its own consultation. Yeah, how do you want to wear this? Where are you going to be wearing it to? How long do you want it to last? Like all these, like it's necessary. Like it's a whole. It is its own process, because it's kind of like, all right, well, I've been so used to being the old me, I don't even know what to do with this new me, and that's where adventure starts. That's where you start taking some risks, planned risks. Some things you can plan for, some things you can't. But you there's a few times you're going to have to jump off the ledge and be okay with wherever you land, because you're learning. You're learning that, okay, well, this works. This does not work. So we ain't doing that no more. And it comes without condemnation. It comes without you beating yourself down because you didn't make the mark. Like there ain't no mark. We're discovering. We're learning. It's a huge discovery, and it should be fun. It should absolutely be fun for you. So when you get to that stage where it's time for you to figure out how you want to wear this and know that you can wear your style a couple of different ways. You can have a style that fits this way and fits that way. And as long as it's genuinely you, it's okay if you rock a few different styles, but they're all genuine. Because, I mean, come on, I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of these things called what are they called? Animals. That's what they're called. Have you ever heard of animals? Have you ever seen how many different animals there are? The different breeds? God does not create one thing and it all looks the same. The fingerprint of God is all over this planet. And we just talking about what's on top of the water. Man, look, all right, sidebar, but not really a sidebar, but kind of a sidebar. I was watching this YouTube video of this octopus. Can someone from National Geographic email me and tell me why this octopus swam over this rock, backed up, sat on a rock, and changed its whole color and camouflaged itself to look like the rock? I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that that thing blinked, I would have missed it. I was just watching like octopus rock. Wait, where did I was shocked. And then a few seconds later, that thing got off the rock and went back to its normal color and kept swimming. It was like its defense mechanism. I thought that only happened in X-Men movies. Like, I'm like, that thing just did it. I'm telling you, when God creates a thing, it can have multiple looks as long as it's genuinely it. You can have multiple looks. Own your style. God gave you permission. You put in the work. You don't need nobody else's approval. You don't. And since you put in that work and you got this style, man, look, enjoy it. Because now we're starting to get to the sweet spot of life. Because life is cyclical. You'll have another time where you're going to have to make another transformation. But when you remember your previous style and how well it looked, then you can look forward to a new style when you're going through another transformation. And that's what makes the ebbs and flows of life not just survivable, but thrivable. It puts you in a position where you're not filled with dysfunction and frustration because things are not constantly smooth. Like you should actually expect life at some point to ebb since it's been flowing, and vice versa. You should expect life to flow since it's been ebbed for a while. And you learn how to adjust per the season. So, you know, own your style, own it, because you put in the work. And if you're in a season where you've gone through the transformation and now it's time for you to enjoy it, man. And don't let anything stop you from owning your style, because it's your style. Your style. You gotta wear it. After I cut your hair and I style your hair, you know who's wearing it? You. Nobody else. So you better wear it, and wear it proudly, wear it happily. You should have a joy within yourself. The type of gratification of accomplishing a purging of something old, a preparation and an endurance of transformation, and now being able to wear the results of your transformation. It'll look good on you. And just like a really good styling product, you're gonna have to find some peripherals that accentuate your style. Those peripherals can be people, places, and or things that complement the style you want to wear. See, when I'll leave you with this is what I'm gonna leave you with. And I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. When the hair is cut good, right? The styling product itself, whether it's a pomade, a gel, whatever the case may be, its job is to hold or magnify or accentuate the style that's there. And what I mean by that is the transformation is really what styles you. The way the hair, a really excellent hair professional cuts with style in mind. So like if you are going to wear this crop top, as I'm cutting it, I'm putting texture in the hair already because that's a part of the style. And once I put, maybe a clay or something in there to style it out, the only thing that clay product is going to do is going to hold and accentuate the texture that I put in with my scissors. Life does that. When you rock with the transformation that life is trying to put in you, the life transformation experience that you're dealing with is the thing that's actually making you who you are. It's creating your new look because it starts inside of you. Remember, hair is an extension of what is coming out of you. And so when that part of you is groomed, what comes out of you is groomed, then what you put on that and what you put around that should accentuate how it's been groomed, which is another reason why you need to own it and enjoy it, because you've been putting in some work. So I'll leave that with y'all today. Own your style. Give yourself permission to be the new you. All right? Until next time, y'all, I'm going to be here at the same podcast address. I was about to say back channel, but that would have aged me and it would have been cheesy. So y'all know how to find me. IG, YouTube, email, just in case you haven't heard the other ones. IG, I'm at j.KyleGrooming. J, the letter J, .KYLE-Grooming. YouTube, search LifeGrooming, LifeGrooming, one word. And then JKyleGrooming at gmail.com. Hit me up, leave comments, keep your boy prayed up. All right. And I'll see you on the next one. We're almost done. We got maybe about 2 or 3 more of these left. So we're coming to an end of this pretty soon. So I pray it's been a blessing to you. And let me know how it is. All right. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.